Welcome to Central Georgia Focus. I'm your host today, Fredrick Price. Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, is recognized on June 19th. It observes the end of slavery in the U.S. on June 19th, 1865 in Texas. 2025 Juneteenth celebrations are happening all across our area, the country, and of course, right here in Macon. So to talk about upcoming events and what this history means today, we have Fadil Muhammad, the co-founder of Macon 33rd Annual Juneteenth Festival under Torchlight Academy Incorporated and the Kwanzaa Culture Access Center. And joining him, one of the Juneteenth Festival performers, cultural dance artist Terry Ajile Axum. She's the artistic director and founder of Total Dance, Dancicle Productions, I should say, in Atlanta. Thank you so much for being here, both of you.
Thank you.
Have a lot of history sitting in the room, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm going to start with you, Terry.
Okay.
Kind of tell us about your story. Particularly back in the 80s, you did something that was very unique, something that was unknown to this area. You brought a new genre and style that paid homage to our ancestors in slavery. Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, absolutely. It was such a profound time for me because I was relocating from New Jersey, having finished graduate school and undergrad Princeton and Rutgers for graduate school. And I was fortunate enough to come to Macon and continue my journey being a cultural artist, cultural dance artist. And so during that time, I did a production called Women Hold Up Half the Sky, a tribute to the African American woman. It was profound for me because I had an opportunity to be introduced to a large, overwhelming amount of talent in Macon. And so with 22 performers, we started in the Macon Act Theater, which was a very small theater that held about approximately 100 audience viewers. And we grew from that sellout audience to the Grand Opera House, toured Middle Georgia, went into the schools performing, and ultimately from that production opened up something called Kuumba Art Studio on First Street, right across from City Hall. Yeah.
And you think about your first performance, you said 22 people. Mm-hmm. What was that like back then? I mean, that was something that was clearly unheard of.
It was awesome. I say that because I had actors, singers, dancers. So during the process of a month to 2 months of rehearsing, we had workshops, we had classes, workshops in dance, in acting, in singing. And the thing that I mentioned that was so awesome was the fact that the performance came with talent. So the aspect that I offered more was the dance aspect, which you just mentioned, and that was a combination of contemporary dance and modern and traditional African dance. And that was a lot of what was a part of that production.
Can you really just talk about the value of bringing that modern African dance to this area?
Absolutely. So when you think of a modern dance, you think of a genre unto itself. When you think of African dance, you think of a genre unto itself. Mm-hmm. So even in New Jersey, I was told, you can't do that. You can't do modern African. Huh. And I chose with that statement to continue the journey of bringing those together because I'm a modern African woman.
Right.
And so I had to bring, for me, the essence of who I am. So I studied traditional African dance, I studied the modern idioms, but the big deal was I had a mentor, the mentor, Catherine Dunham. So Catherine Dunham, dancer, anthropologist, who the world needs to know about because she gave us a pathway of modern, she gave us a pathway to jazz. Mm-hmm. And quite often we don't know that talent that's in our culture. She did in the 1930s what I began to do in the 1970s. So she's one of the dance pioneers that paved the way prior to me. And I had an opportunity actually to meet her before she left the earth physically. And so her spirit lives on in the dance world. So to bring my aspect of modern African dance along with the awesome talent of Macon, because Macon has some singers, some actors, and it gave me an opportunity actually to meet the Macon community because I had just recently come to the area. So it was profound. That was the experience.
You clearly were inspired, and you inspire so many.
Yes.
Like Fadil, you brought some attention to the great work that she was doing. And because of that, you got a proclamation back in 2022 from the mayor's office. Tell us about that and really why you felt it was necessary to bring some attention to the great work that they did.
Well, she's like Gile, you know, as Terry is a superhero to me. She is definitely one of my mentors. When I came back from college, Morehouse College in 1982, graduated, I really didn't have much to connect to in Macon, and when I walked into her studio, it really wandered in there. It was somewhere for me to connect with. It gave me a sense of direction and the artistic creativity focus that she's on, the trajectory that she's on, and the way she encouraged everyone to be creative. It just really just took me to another level. I do a lot, most of what I'm doing today is because of her. Particularly in terms of the creative, cultural things. She opened up our mind to it. And when we had the program, we did this tribute, Magnificent Sisters of Dance. And this is Catherine Dunham. You know, you can see her on the front. We gave several dancers, dance teachers, and pioneers, we gave them these bags and we honored them. Agile was at the top. You know, she had a production and everyone sat and watched it, but we had Giwe and Mata, all women's drum and dance ensemble. We had Pilar Wilder, who was, you know, was a star here in Macon. We had Tara Gallimore with Kali Dance. We had Lanika Allen out of Valdosta, but she started with Pilar. And I think, and we also had Charity Evolman, who is a very young dance teacher with HK Angels now. And all of them were honored. And so then not only did we have a program at the Douglas Theater where we honored them, and I, you know, I always wanted to, I've always been chasing her, trying to get back with when she left Macon. I always wanted to be with her because the things she does with her art are so exciting and they make you really feel good. I've just always enjoyed being a part. So we just, and then there's so much value.
Sure.
So we would always invite them for Juneteenth, and it's a beautiful feature. And then she has such a gracious spirit of coming back to offer. She gave so much to Macon when she was here, and if she went through a lot. We've always wanted to. She was ahead of her time. You know, people really, a lot of them weren't quite ready, but it was a great impact. And at Juneteenth, it's a great asset. So we wanted to honor her. To answer your question, I can say so much. I can say so much.
Which is good. It really speaks to what you do for this community. But also, you have the Hold Up Half the Sky. It is award-winning. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So when we spoke about my impact with the 22 performers, we were actually doing the production Women Hold Up Half the Sky. And that tribute to the African American woman, once again, George just mentioned being ahead of my time. I constantly give thanks for my knowledge, but I'm also proud of my journey. And so my journey actually began with having met Alex Haley as an undergrad at Barnard College of Women's School of Columbia University. So prior to Princeton, which I was in the first graduating class of women at Princeton, I was at Barnard College. And he came to the school to speak about his research on roots. I had an opportunity to perform. At that time, I was singing with a group called, and we sang "Coming Home, Lord, I'm Coming Home." I was just so inspired by having met him. And then after that, going to Princeton, I began to do more research on my culture.
Wow.
And so I studied slave narratives, and I wrote my thesis on the personality of Black people during slavery times. That became the platform for the intellectual property of what I continued to do. And so Women Hold Up Half the Sky grew out of, during the day, I'm in a small cubicle reading these slave narratives, crying like a baby, and being introduced to my life by having met Alex Haley, who did his journey. And then in the evening, I would go into the dance studio and I began to create. And the birth of Women Hold Up Half the Sky is part of what I did here and continue to do now and continue to bring to Juneteenth as well.
Okay, well, we're going to continue our conversation because it certainly is a remarkable story in just a moment. We're off to a break. Here's some events that will be happening on Juneteenth in our area. Welcome back to Central Georgia Focus. We continue our conversation about Juneteenth 2025 celebrations with Terry, Ajile, Axum, and Fadil Muhammad. So we have a lot of activities that are going to be happening that Saturday. Let's get into them. We have some pictures and some videos of the events that are going to be happening for Juneteenth. There we go. So this is the debutante presentation that's happening. Fadil, if you would kind of tell me a little bit about what can people expect from this?
Yeah, we're in unity with Making Black Culture, and there's several groups that are doing, Douglas Theater doing Juneteenth things, and there's a debutante ball. It's kind of like the cotillion ball or the botillion ball, but it's, you know, introduction of young ladies into society and being honored and also being introduced to Juneteenth.
Okay, and this is on
The 7th.
Saturday, the 7th?
June 7th.
And
The Douglas Theater.
What time will that be?
I believe it's at 4.
Okay.
I'm not positive on that one.
Okay.
Because there's several different organizations doing things. That's one of Making Black Culture's events.
Okay.
But we're in unity.
Yeah, we are at the Douglas Theater.
Yes, yeah, at the Douglas Theater.
All right, if we can, let's pop up our next event.
Okay. Oh yeah, this is Real Talk Hip Hop
Okay,
Summit.
tell me a little bit about this.
This is my dear friend and son, Vincent Mustafa Muhammad, and this is the 20th year.
Oh wow!
They're dealing with the real hip hop art forms, break dancing, DJing, MCing, you know, graffiti. The whole thing, real hip hop, and the principles and morals that are behind the knowledge.
Wow.
He's big on that. He's been doing this for 20 years, since he was real young, but we put hip hop in the hands of capable youth. And so he's been doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Allah's.
Yeah, and sometimes when you put, you know, put it in the hands of capable youth, sometimes it's a little scary. But they've been doing this for 20 years, so I think they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have the Pleasant Hill Reunion.
Yeah, I think this is our 19th year. And just keeping the heritage alive. Pleasant Hill is probably the most historic neighborhood in our community. And we just, it is facing some gentrification threats and things like that, but we are super positive. And we have this reunion every year where we try to bring the people together, invite people who used to live there, and just celebrate the value and the richness of this beautiful neighborhood, and working on revitalizing it.
Yeah. No, there has been, and we have documented it here at the station, at least, the revitalization of Pleasant Hill, and just documenting the amount of history that is in that neighborhood. So, as you mentioned, it's unity, right?
That's right.
We all come together.
That's right.
To celebrate and remember and recognize.
That's right.
We also have this is among some of the biggest events that are happening.
33rd Annual Juneteenth Freedom Festival, Tapman Square Park.
Yes.
Where Macon was surrendered during the Civil Wars. We found that out the 16th year we'd done it. And very, very powerful event. We just want to bring to Macon something to be thankful that our ancestors began on this course to freedom in 1865. Educate the youth, educate our people, and bring wonderful music, wonderful performing arts, exhibits, a great opportunity for us to come together in that beautiful park and be enlightened and be raised up. So this is our 33rd year of doing that.
33rd year.
Wow.
This is a big moment for you, Terry, too, because you're also going to be performing.
I am. Total Dance Theater, Moja Dance Theater, Ojinga in Drum Talk, great artist, master drummer for us, son of Clayton Love, a big blues representative from St. Louis. And we have a big surprise. We have some awesome trained youth dancers for the first time that will be a part of this. Normally we only have the adult professionals, so we have young professionals. Juneteenth is very important to the pathway of what I do with Dancicle Productions, and that is to bring, which you both spoken of, the enlightenment of our culture, our history, unity. Juneteenth for us as a cultural dance artist is an opportunity to celebrate our heritage, our ancestry, our holidays, Kwanzaa, Juneteenth, Martin Luther King. And so we have some very prideful holidays that we must continue to educate, and that's what Moja Dance Theater, Total Dance Theater, Dancicle Productions is all about. Always the artistry of African American culture.
And can you remind our viewers what time you all will be performing?
Absolutely, 7 p.m. We are going to be there bringing a force for Juneteenth and to put in this wonderful universe using performance as a platform for good.
And really, sometimes those performances are better than words.
Oh, yes.
Because it inflicts a lot of emotion.
Yes.
You really can see the sacrifice. So clearly we have a lot of events going. I think those are all the events. No, we have some more. Okay, so this is the 19th annual Pleasant Hill Picnic for Deal.
That goes with the reunion. Because the one you showed earlier is the banquet on Friday the 13th. At Rosewood, but then the next day we're in Mattie Herbert Jones Park, also known as Playground, and and that's really the reunion, event celebration.
Bringing everybody together from different generations,
that's
which is always interesting to bring them together and to hear their stories too.
Yes.
Then we have the Fathers and Family Juneteenth celebration.
Man, this is a big thing.
Oh, this is a big one.
This is a very big one because we're going to have a fantastic scholar at 3 p.m. Dr. Chika Akua from Clark Atlanta University, part of the AU Center. Last time I didn't mention Mo Brown. I got to mention Mo Brown this time. Morehouse, Spelman, Clark Atlanta, Atlanta University, and ITC. But he's coming and he's going to give a great lecture, as well as Little John Roberts, a great drummer, George Duke, Herbie Hancock, Janet Jackson, toured with all of these people, Joey DeFrancesco, really from Philadelphia. And he's bringing his band called the Senators. They are all virtuoso jazz fusion musicians. Wow. Free show.
Free show?
At the Douglas Theater.
You
got
we love free.
Dr. Chika Akua is going to educate, and then have a Q&A, and then after that, this beautiful show. That's the 15th. Please don't miss that.
Don't miss that one.
Free show, and then vendors, food. at the Douglas Theater.
Yeah.
It's going to be, and that's going to be at the Douglas too, correct?
At the Douglas Theater. Sunday, that's Father's Day.
Okay.
And don't worry about it. Bring Dad.
Bring
It's
Dad.
going to be great. Dad's going to
Bring
love
Dad.
what he
That's
experiences. It's a great place. Black History
Yes,
Tour
yes,
is
yes.
16th through the 20th. So every day we're doing tours at 5 each day. And then on Juneteenth Day, on the 19th, we're going to do a tour at 10 a.m. that morning. We've been doing that about 20 years. Making Black History Tour starts at the terminal station, goes through downtown and up into Pleasant Hill. It's very interesting. Want to keep sharing this information, and it's free.
Yeah.
Donations welcome, but it's free. Okay.
We also have the parade. This is a
parade.
big one too. This is the third year that you guys
Yes.
have done this, but I know so many people gather and they look forward to this too.
This is the initiative of Making Black Culture, our partners, and we're together with it. And so this is the third annual parade, and then there's going to be a tailgate afterwards. Making Black Culture is doing some wonderful things. They have some very dynamic young leaders that are part of this organization, and we're very proud to be working with them, as well as Dr. Shelton Lamb of the Douglas Theater, who has really brought us all together.
Okay, well, clearly a lot going on.
A lot
Thank you for
going on.
going through
Yeah.
that, and most of them are free too, which is
Yeah.
why people really should go.
Yeah.
We're going to head off to a break right now. We're going to continue our conversation in just a moment. Stick with us. Welcome back to Center Georgia Focus. So we are talking all about Juneteenth with Fadil Muhammad and Terry Agile Axum. So we talked about some of the events that are going to be happening during Juneteenth for the 33rd annual Juneteenth Freedom Festival. You guys are actively looking for art and food vendors.
Absolutely.
And we have the information on your screen. If one is interested, you can call that number 478-373-3319.
Yeah, that's 478-737-3319, and then 478-718-8067.
Okay, and really just talk about the importance of having all of the vendors there, as many as you can get as possible, because there clearly is a message that you all want to convey, and it's nice to have a combination of people to do that.
Absolutely. Vendors enhance your event, and we would like to have vendors that have some really nice food, healthy food. We always advocate health and fitness to our community and being well. So definitely we need them. We have events, particularly at the park on the 14th of June, and the vending fee is $85 for food vendors, super low. $65 for non-food. So just give us a call and get plugged in. And then also at the Douglas on the 15th, and it's going to be a nice setup in the annex and on the courtyard. Nice, cozy for the fathers, for the families. So we need vendors.
Oh yeah,
they help to make it good. We're gonna make it a good day for you too.
Okay, and we'll end with this. Just kind of tell me the importance of Juneteenth and just celebrating this.
Well, our theme is stay woke. And I know people have a lot of charged stuff with that word woke, but just to be clear, our ancestors started that idea back in the 1900s, early 1900s, particularly Marcus Garvey and some others, staying alert. And really in this time, if you're asleep, you're in trouble. You gotta stay alert today in 2025. Everybody, all races, all ethnicities, everybody. But we're reminding you that we gave that consciousness to the world, and we're reclaiming it. Woke is not a bad thing; it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
Terry, would you like to add?
Yes, absolutely. Juneteenth is an opportunity for us to celebrate our culture and believing in diversity. We invite everybody to come and become aware, or if you're already aware, I know the sun is hot, but it's a time to celebrate and feel good about who we are as African American people.
Certainly. Want to quickly mention that today is your birthday, the day that we tape this too.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday.
you.
Thank you. Yes. And I don't mind sharing. I'm 74 years on this earth. I did get the question asked earlier about when I was interviewing.
Certainly.
I've been dancing since 3.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for being here with us on your birthday, and thank you for joining us for Central Georgia Focus. We'll see you next time.